Hey guys, what is up? DigiDemand here, back for another video, and is going to be another anime review, and today I'm going to be reviewing Heaven's Lost Property. So let's go ahead and jump right into the plot. Okay, so the story revolves around a teenage boy named Tomoki, and he's the type of guy who likes his peace and quiet. But that peace and quiet soon comes to an end when this thing falls from the sky and lands near Tomoki. And that thing happened to fall is called an angeloid, and its name was Icarus. And what an angeloid is a humanoid-like creature that is made to serve a master. And for one reason or another, this angeloid was sent to Tomoki to be his master. And Icarus pretty much has the power to make any of Tomoki's wishes come true, and she will do anything that he says. For example, if he wished for money, he would get money, and if he wanted to stop time, she could do that. And when she said that she would do anything that he said, he didn't believe her, so he told her to strip, but not knowing that she would actually do it. And when she started to do it, he told her to stop because he was just kidding. So to sum things up, this is about Tomoki having to deal with the fact he has an android now that will grant him any wish he has, and shenanigans ensue. So what type of anime is this? Well, it's an ecchi comedy with a little bit of romance. The ecchi part being that there's a lot of sexualized things in it, so it's definitely not for the kiddies. So now that we've gone through the story, let's talk about the characters. First is Tomoki, and he is the main character, and he's a very perverted character. I really don't want to spoil any of the crazy things that he does because how perverted he is. But I guess I can give an example from the first episode. So in the first episode, when he starts making wishes, one of the wishes was for Icarus to stop time so he could run around naked and look up girls' skirts. And that is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to his antics. But he just isn't a perv character. He's not just a pervy character. He can also be a really caring character when he isn't being a perv. Next we have Icarus. The best way to describe her is that she is a blank slate. There is just a lot of things that she doesn't understand that Tomoki has to teach her, like what it's like to be more human, how to shop, what love is, and other things along those lines. She is also a very dedicated person. Like, she will do anything to protect her master Tomoki, and slowly throughout the series she starts to fall in love with him. Next is Nymph. She's another angeloid who is sent to Earth to kill Tomoki and bring Icarus back to where they came from, and she is ordered to do this by her master, and we really don't get to know much about him. But Nymph doesn't just come down and attack head on. She takes her time and tries to become close before making her attempt. And at first I really didn't care for Nymph and her attitude, but over time I came to like her. Next we have Sohara, and she is Tomoki's childhood friend that lives next door that beats on Tomoki whenever he does something perverted. Sometimes I agree with her, sometimes I feel like she should just let Tomoki perv out. You know, let the man read his dirty magazines, he's not hurting anybody. Next we have Sugata, and he is extremely interested in finding what he calls the New World, and he feels that the New World that he has been dreaming of is the world where Icarus and Nymph come from. Next we have Mikaku, and she is the class president and also the richest girl in the school that hangs out with Tomoki and the gang. The thing about her is that she likes to cause trouble, and it's always a good time when she's around. The last character I'll talk about is Astria. I won't say too much about her character or how she's connected to the story because she doesn't show up until season 2, but what I can say about her is that she is kind of a stereotypical dumb blonde character, kind of a ditzy character, and like Nymph, I really didn't like her at first, but over time I grew to like her. And now that I've talked about the characters, let's go ahead and move on to the good. One thing I liked are the characters, my favorite being Icarus. I just like everything about her. From the way she acts because she doesn't really fully understand everything, from the way she feels about Tomoki to the way that she likes watermelons. I just really like her. She is waifu material. Another thing that I like is the story and how it's not just about boobs in your face. The first few episodes may have you thinking that the whole series is just about fan service, but after around episode 8, the story element of the show starts to pick up. Basically, the show has a nice balance between fan service and story. Another thing I liked was the way they handled the fan service. The show knew when to have fan service and when to take itself a little more seriously. And of course, I really enjoyed the humor in this show. It's pretty unique. Like, there would be episodes about exploding panties, flying panties, the gang going into each other's dreams. There's also an episode where Tomoki sings about his tingling nips, which is like, that had me rolling. And there is just so much more that I just don't want to spoil for you guys. And also, Funimation does a great job once again, not just with the voice acting, but also with the writing. I know for a fact I wouldn't have found the show as funny if I would have watched it with Japanese subtitles instead of hearing the English voices. But with the good comes the bad. First, let's start off with a nitpick, and that nitpick is that I feel like Tomoki spends too much time in his chibi form. I could probably argue that he spends more time in his chibi form than he does in his actual form, but that is just a nitpick. Another nitpick that I have is that the show really doesn't explore the relationship between Tomoki and Sahara, the childhood friend, that much. I feel like they could have done some more development there, but whatever. Well, I guess my only real problem I have with this anime is that it leaves you with a whole lot of unanswered questions, like why Tomoki was chosen to be Icarus's master, like why him specifically? Why does this blue-haired angel show up in his dreams? Well, we do find out who she is and how she connected and how she is connected to the Angeloids, but we never find out why she chose Tomoki. We also never really get to know Nymph's master's motivations for doing what he does. Like, what is his goal? Why is he doing all of this? We never find out in the anime, but the manga does continue where the anime leaves off. So now it's time for my conclusion. Well, overall, I really enjoyed this anime. It was funny, had good story, had good characters to go along with it, had a great writing, and the show knew when to cut out the fan service and focus on the scene at hand, which I appreciate. So let me go ahead and get into the ratings. First is music, and I'll give that an 8 out of 10. Nothing bad, but nothing that great either, in my opinion. Next is animation, and I'll give that a 9 out of 10. It looked good throughout. Story, I'll give an 8 out of 10. It was good, but I wish they would have focused on it just a little bit more. Next is characters, and I'll give that an 8.5 out of 10. They were good, but I did have my problems. Next is enjoyment, and I'll give that an 8 out of 10. I really did enjoy this series, but I would have enjoyed it a little bit more if they would have focused more on the character relationships than the fan service. Ending, I'll give an 8.5 out of 10. Even though the ending does leave you with a lot of unanswered questions, the last 2 episodes are still pretty solid because it appeals to all the fans of the show in one way or another. If you like action, it has that. If you like fan service, it has that. If you like humor, it has that. If you like the relationship dealing with Tomoki and Icarus, it has that. So overall, it is a pretty solid ending. So my final score for this anime comes out to be an 8.3 out of 10, and I definitely recommend this show. And if you guys like this video, like the video, and if you like me, subscribe to me. As always, this is DDG The Man, and I'll catch y'all next time.